So let me get started. Last session of today is the panel on SEO. What does the future of SEO look like? Now, I have to do the speakers in order. See, they're in this order on the screen, and it would be highly annoying for you if I would place them in a different order on the seats, because then you don't know who's who anymore, and all your pictures get distorted, and your AI doesn't understand what you've been looking at. So that's why we'll do it in order. And the first panelist that I get to introduce is a content strategist and SEO at Melograno Ventures, where she blends storytelling, data, and search strategy to help WordPress brands stay visible as search keeps evolving. Please welcome Giovanna. Our second panelist runs a digital marketing agency in Santiago de Compostela in Spain, specializing in SEO and WordPress development. He's been navigating Google updates since 2015 and describes himself as an AI enthusiast who believes AI is one of the biggest challenges in the SEO industry has ever faced. So please welcome David. And it's my personal honor to call to the stage a great friend and a former colleague. He's principal SEO at Yoast, the SEO plugin with over 13 million installs, where he focuses on product innovation and brand authority. He co-founded the agency Firecask and brings 20 years of technical SEO and WordPress experience to the stage. Please welcome Alex Moss. Then, she is not just the founder and president of PAM Marketing, but also the founder of Stealth Search and Analytics, PAM AI, and Contelevate.ai. She has over 2 decades of experience in SEO, PPC, and AI-driven search. Put your hands together for Pam. And last but not least, our moderator is a marketing strategist and entrepreneur from Poland. He spent his career building brands that cut through noise, and who's currently building tools specifically for the intersection of SEO and AI. He'll be guiding a conversation with our 4 panelists, and they all live and breathe search visibility for a living. So please welcome Casper.
All right, thank you for a very warm welcoming. Such a nice conference, such a great community. Let's start, guys. You ready? I think there is an elephant in the room, kind of. Of course, everyone's already said that. AI, right? We are all here. We all love WordPress. We are all in this together. But it changes a lot. I mean, recently Google announced, kind of officially, that they are not moving completely from blue links, but they are focusing much more on generative answers and AI search. What does it change for the WordPress users, and what does it change for our SEO community? Alex, maybe?
I mean, you say it's an elephant in the room, but right now, some answers might say it's a woolly mammoth, right? And they might give you a bit of hallucination of what's kind of there, but not. I mean, as an SEO, I don't know, it's the same stuff, different technology. It's just something different that's ingesting content, information, and data to synthesize back to us. In reality, I don't think there's too much dramatic change that we need to do. If anything, I think we should take a step back. And back in the day before AI, I used to say in other talks, the more you think about SEO, the less you should be doing that thing. And I think now, you know, scaling content's a really good example. Like if you think for 1 second, if you're questioning how much to scale, you shouldn't be doing it. And if anything, you should be just doing, as Google say, unique quality, non-commodity content intended for humans. Agents know that they're not the end user, they're just a gateway to the end user, which is the human. So it still has to adhere to some of those rules. That's my opinion, is that we should be thinking, obviously, about all the different things that are changing. And Emma went through quite a lot of that before. But like she said, don't just jump on one thing and go all in just because there's one report that says Reddit's quite popular. That doesn't mean that, stop everything. Let's do Reddit now for the next 3 months. And 1 month in, it's now a LinkedIn focus. If anything, there to me, it's just a social media marketing channel. And we should have been doing that before LLMs were even around. So yeah, do the same stuff, but still focus on what that gatekeeping really means.
All right, pretty optimistic view. Anyone have a more pessimistic? Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry to disagree with some parts. I think that SEO have changed a lot. It's true that GEO is the new SEO and is the same. What I think is that it's same things to do, but in different proportion. But the way of work, I think, is really changed. Basically, I think that till now, content was king, and now user is really king. They have been years telling that user is king, but content was king. But now, I think the king is really the user with AI. And we cannot do the same type of content. We cannot do because Google have been telling us years that the type of content we need to do, but still we can do the typical SEO content and it's working. But now it's not like that. Now the AI is really making the important content to work. Is what I think about it.
Standards have just gone higher, right? Mediocre content is going to be a thing of the past, and I can't wait for it.
Okay, ladies, anything to say about it? Like, maybe let's also, for those who don't know, distinguish what is the difference between classic SEO and the new version of the SEO, GEO. Giovanna?
Well, how I see it is that basically, more or less, we are now not looking at SEO in isolation anymore. I feel that before SEO teams and SEO specialists were really looking like niche things and looking to SEO like just one part of the puzzle, and they were not looking the entire picture of marketing. And today, I believe that in order to do good SEO, GEO, or whatever, and be included in AI-generated answers, you need to look at SEO and marketing as a whole. So you need to approach it as a brand strategy, product marketing, SEO tactics we were already using, but just upgraded on much higher level. And that I am very optimistic about that, because that makes me happy, because SEO is finally getting the place it deserves. It's much more quality. It's going to become.
Yes, I think so too. And as you said, it means it's more holistic, right? The SEO is kind of gonna will have to work together with marketing. I'm not gonna say for the first time, but usually it was kind of separated departments. I think it's so important that now those departments are working together, right? And okay, so what you're suggesting, right, is that a little bit change of the strategy, maybe more holistic, more also appearing more in the social media, Google Maps even, right? Pam as well, maybe?
I agree completely. I think that, well, first of all, everyone's like, SEO is changing. I've always said, it always changes a lot, but I've always said I prefer not to say that it changes, it just evolves. And there's new layers on top to tend to. That's just always happened over the years. This one was a big new layer. There's a lot of new stuff to tend to. But so as far as the SEO, GEO thing, I think of SEO as the foundation and GEO as the new layer on top, like the new icing on the cake. And there's some things that we have to do differently with content, namely structuring content for machine digestibility. But the other, and I think biggest part of that new layer is the branding. Because if you think about it, we used to optimize for traffic, and well, we still do. But when the user doesn't have to do the click to find the information and synthesize the information themselves, when the AI is doing that for them, we're really not chasing, or shouldn't be chasing the clicks as much anymore. We should be chasing the citation, the being recommended by the AI summary of the information that's out there. And that's where it gets so much broader, like you're saying with the branding. Like my thing I'm telling everyone now is like, brand is the new backlink. Like that is what really you need to think about. And it is hard for us as SEOs because we're not branding specialists. We have to bring those branding specialists in, right? Or become a bit of a branding specialist ourselves to point people in the right direction. But branding is just such a bigger thing, and it's about awareness building, and that's what you need to do to get the AIs to recommend your brand. And the good news is everyone's sad about the loss of traffic, but the good news is that study after study after study is showing that the traffic that you do get from AI, if someone really does dig into that citation and click it, it converts at so much higher of a rate because the AI pre-vetted your brand already. But so that's where the branding comes in and is not too easy for us, but
Right.
will just become more an integrated marketing approach, like as was said, perhaps it should have already been.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for sure, definitely. But then, okay, let's give some raw value to our great community. What actually it means? Okay, branding. Like, what a business owner with a shop set up on their WordPress page should do now to have a chance to be appearing in the AI. Go ahead.
Maybe part of our job now is to increase accuracy via data integrity, not just with content, but what's underlying as well. So structured data, anything to do with entities, that kind of thing. The more that there is potential to be a hallucination, the more that hallucination can snowball and end up with actually an answer that is not accurate. The more that we are accurate, the less work it has to do as well, the less tokens it uses, the happier it will be to choosing you over something else. I think it's maybe in comparison to a slow loading website. We don't have patience to let that page load. We would prefer to have a faster website so that we can do things faster. This is kind of the same thing in terms of the data that it's ingesting.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. I had a customer who was complaining that AI keep telling that his company is like 15 years old, even though he's been running this business for like 20 few years. It's like, this is, where did they get from this information? I found it. It was right on his blog post, somewhere down there, when they say, we are running business already for 15 years. And AI, 10 years past, AI is now telling everyone this is a 10-year-old company. The owner, we found it, and now we are working slowly to fix it, right? Like, this is exactly the mistakes you were talking about. This is a very good point. Giovanna, I wanted to add something to this, right?
Yes, also I'd like to add that, again, product placement is a big thing now. If you are an SEO who is not that much into branding, you can consult a branding specialist, but each page, each strategic page nowadays should be very specific about what your product is. Who can use it, what problems it solves, what features are the most important ones, and to offer some proof of the claims that you are doing what you are doing. So that's basically because if you would like to be found by and cited properly by AI, you need to feed that information to AI, and not just on your own content and pages, but also brand marketing, PR, external placements are really important, and you need to make sure that everything is consistent, because when AI pulls answers, you need that consistency. So when it answers to a prompt, it gives the most accurate answer.
Yeah, this is a very good point, right? Because like as a social media agencies, like usually we're optimizing for each platform, each different language, right? But this is actually kind of hurting us right now with the AI recommendations. Yeah, like because we're supposed to be very direct and very clear on what our business is doing, not just looking cool on social media. Yeah. David, you wanted to add something, right?
Yeah, I wanted to answer the question, no, what can we do? I think a classic on SEO, that is, it depends. Because I think the strategy changed a lot if you have a consolidated, good branded web page with authority, or you are starting, which is sometimes the main issue when you are starting is what can I do for being there? Because my services are commodity. What we need to run away with AI is to be the commodity. We need to be unique content. Our web pages need to be unique. If you are a brand, a good brand, you can be commodity because you are the first one anyway. But if you are small, you need to point to the unique content, something special you have, and also mix it with all your marketing. To be mentioning everything, you need to do something special, something very valuable to your customer, to your potential customers. And the typical SEO work, instead of doing it more for the agent, I think we need to go to the local SEO, to the pointing to get visits, the classic SEO content through local, through pointing very tight, and at the same time making unique content. Try to get the special, the viral, the social also for getting that power, that brand that you are building. No?
Yeah, speaking of unique content, I know it's tempting to just use ChatGPT, right, to generate your articles, posts, and everything, but this is not the best strategy, right, guys?
I was going to piggyback off of the unique content comment and say that one thing that everybody should be doing right now is listening to what Google told us to do when it updated its quality rater guidelines basically right after ChatGPT came out and people started flooding the internet with AI-generated content. They updated the quality rater guidelines, and I attempted to take a screenshot of every instance where they added the word experience. And I was trying to put it all on one slide, and I ran out of room. So it was like 40, I don't know, I lost count, around 40 or 50 times that the quality rater guidelines now reference experience, the new E, right? It was EAT, expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness that they've always told us to demonstrate in our content. And with that update, they added the new E, and now it's EEAT, and that new E is the experience. But I think that's being grossly underinterpreted or I don't know. They mentioned it a lot, but they didn't do a good job defining what they mean by that. And because I have clients who'll say well, what does that mean if I'm talking about my experience? I do. I have a byline at the bottom of every blog post that says my experience. I have done da-da-da for da-da-da years. No, I don't think that's what they're going for. They're going for uniqueness in the content. So how do you add uniqueness into the content? By talking about your human experiences that led to you getting your expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. So I've been preaching to clients, talk about times, places, events, things, projects that you did, how did you get your experience? Specifically, where, when, and how did you get this expertise? What experiences led to the expertise? And that's where I think the uniqueness thing could be clarified a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, AI pays much more attention to the author, I would say, right? Compared to a classic SEO. Of course, the website have to be great for the Google to show it up, but now also the author shouldn't be unverified. It should be a profile. Okay, who wrote this? This is not just our company wrote this. No, this is an expert in our company who wrote this, right? Yeah, I think so. Alex, a question for you. What plugin who we all love and use every day, what you as a company, what are you doing with this kind of changing world order, I would say, in the SEO?
Treading carefully. What I don't want us to do is go gung-ho, kind of like the Reddit situation, and just going, they've said this, so we must do this immediately. I think the dust is nowhere near settled on this whole ecosystem. So I think it's a bit risky just to do things just because someone said it this week, and to see if there's actually a use case for it. But also, Yoast is about, the good of the web as well. So while some things may not be, hugely adopted, for example, or widespread or globally adopted with all the platforms, it's still something that may be a good proposal to the web that may help. And NL Web was a good example of that, aggregating schema into one endpoint. It's just making things a bit more efficient, right, for an agent to look at things. That's not to say they've all adopted this just because we did it, but it's a good proposal out there, and we've got, over 10 million sites that can do that. And again, it's not opt-in. If we use llms.txt as an example, that was opt-in, not opt-out. And I know that other unnamed plugins have done that, and other platforms have done that and changed their minds, and again, been a bit wishy-washy and non-consistent. I just want to make sure that we're doing the right thing, because it isn't just 100 sites that we can potentially power. It's millions, and we want to be careful with that.
Yeah, yeah. No, this is the right answer. I wanted to hear that because I am using your plugin. So, yes, I think this is actually a pretty good point, because we all kind of like see this on TikToks and Reddit, like these tricks, how to trick AI to show me somewhere. And I think it's pretty tempting for us as a business owners to buy used Reddit accounts and then, or Quora, and play with this. Guys, does it work? Does it gonna make more harm than good? What's the opinion? Giovanna, go ahead.
The thing I like the most about recent changes is that the fact that it is getting increasingly hard to trick the system. And you shouldn't do that. I mean, I was against it even 10 years ago, when it was like every SEO was just looking for shortcuts and things to do to, trick the user, trick the system. And I think that's a really, really bad thing to do. It was before, it's even worse now. So you just need to do SEO right, do quality SEO, do not try to trick the system, invest time, invest resources, do things at a higher level, pay attention to what the user wants to read, to see, pay attention to your product, to your marketing in general, and the results will be there, because as I think Alex said, or Pam, the quality of traffic today, if you are doing things right, yes, the traffic is much less than it was before, but the quality of traffic, the quality of leads you get or conversions, it's much greater today than it was before. So, yeah.
I want to encourage people to think about the Reddit thing a little bit more, like why is that considered a hack? Well, think about it related as it relates to what we were saying before about unique content and talking about human experience. Reddit is threads full of human experience. They're real humans talking about their real experiences. Why do you think AI likes that so much? AI is engineered to trace information to original sources, not to play a game of telephone by resynthesizing other synthesized answers. It's hunting for that uniqueness of humans sharing their experience. So why does Reddit work so well? I think that's why. And you don't need to buy used Reddit accounts and do it like the hack way. Just do it in your own content.
Exactly.
Go ahead, David.
I think that some tricks are there, and you cannot use it too much. But there is a point in the tricks. I was talking before about SEO with in Google Spot with Daniel Sullivan. He was there. You need to follow him. It's important. And I was asking him about PR. Typical campaigns about, it's not link campaign, but it's brand campaign. Many times it's all links that are no follow, but that they are working very good positioning in the AI. And what about that? Because we will also always have an official answer to this, like, no, don't use this, don't do this only for positioning reasons. But at the same time, when you are doing that, your brand is known by the people, and you can start, you are making a fake movement that is starting the real movement. So I think the tricks you cannot abuse, but you can use sometimes. Controlling.
Use responsibly. Very well. That's a good point. Okay, the panel is called The Future as SEO. I think we all universally agree that SEO is not dead. We are working on it. And okay, but that's now, and that's, let's say, in the next few years. But how about 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, 15 years even, right? Like, because Google is kind of openly suggesting that they will be promoting the AI answers over the links. Do you guys think that at some point we're not gonna have the blue links?
100%.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
They're going.
yes.
They're dying.
Consider them dead already.
Okay, okay. Any different opinions down there?
No, I agree completely. That was an easy question.
Blue links forever.
More futuristic outlook, I think, is that right now humans still click and go to websites, whether it's through 10 blue links or through the citations. That's because the AI overview is just generative AI, it's just generating a summary. But agentic AI is when the AI does things for you, right? And I think that's the next big wave, is your AI agent is going to go look at all the websites and compare all the options, and then you just tell it, oh yeah, I like the sound of that one, go buy that for me. And it's going to go buy it for you. I mean, that's already happening with the whole UCP, I think it's called, the Universal Commerce Protocol, right? And the MCP is like, it's so the AIs can do things for you. So I think the 5-10 year outlook is humans don't go to websites anymore. Websites don't even need to look pretty anymore. They just need to be the transaction interface, basically the API for these agents.
It depends.
Okay.
It depends, because think of it about shopping. Me personally, if I go into a clothes shop and someone immediately walks up to me and goes, would you like any help? I'm in my head, no, I can try clothes on. I've tried clothes on before. I know how to do it. I just want to be left alone. But maybe if I want to buy a car, I do want someone to approach me once I'm comfortable to do so. Right now, I would not purchase a car through an agentic platform because it's a big investment. I want to know much more about it. Pair of shoes, yeah, it can buy it on my behalf, especially because it knows my shoe size, my preferences. It'll have context on previous clothes I bought that may complement that thing. And that will all be, again, because of the way structured data is populated well, especially for Merchant Center. It'll know so much about things that I bought and what's compatible with it. So again, it does depend. The role of websites, I personally, I believe, will change in the future. And it's 15 years, you were saying what's going to happen 15 years from now. Anyone who claims they know what's going to happen in 3 years is talking bull hockey and not to be trusted, because no one does. I mean, even in the last 24 hours, the Anthropic co-founder on BBC was like, I think we need to put the brakes on this technology. Like, even the guy who created Claude does not know what's going to happen in maybe months from now. Is that scary? I don't know. I personally think it's an opportunity. I think people like us are a bit valuable in the way that we were when social media first came out. I don't know if anyone was around for that or showing my age. Personally, I made the Facebook page for ITV, which is a national television station in the UK, because I'm the only one who had a Facebook account at that point. No one knew what the hell was going on. And that was a bit slower. Now everyone believes that they're the master of an LLM, which I don't believe is true, and they think that everything's a new way of doing things. And again, if you just step back and everything we've all said now, it's all been around for 10, 20, 30, 50 years, you know, before the internet existed. This is all word of mouth, right? Link building is just third-party perspectives. That's all it is. Just a new bit of technology to feed into, just to be, again, accurate, honest.
It's true, but it's always fun to guess, no? Any guesses there?
One thing about that, I think that is true. You are not going to buy a car through the agent. The agent is not going to buy for you, but the agent will make your path, your schedule, everything, your appointments, and you will have in your calendar where to go to talk about the car.
Oh, of course.
So, the links are not there.
Oh, no, of course, and that's where things like WebMCP will be very useful to do those things. Again, agentically, it'll know all my details and be able to put that appointment automatically, which will be very nice, but I still want to see it with my own eyes, or maybe VR goggles, I don't know.
Yeah, and I agree completely that there are plenty of things that we as humans like to see for ourselves, and we like to verify them, especially if we are about to spend a lot of money or invest a lot of time, resources, emotion, whatever, in something. We need to see it, and for now, it looks like it will not be replaced. But I remember once AI generative answers appeared for the first time, people in the first 1 to 3 months, they were avoiding the answer. They were, a large amount of people were like, no, I don't want to read that. Some robot wrote that. I don't trust it enough to read it. In like maybe 2 or 3 months, things changed drastically, and now everybody uses LLMs and reads AI overviews. So, yeah, we cannot be certain what future will hold, definitely.
Of course, we're all playing and guessing. I guess I am the only one who is buying stuff just because ChatGPT recommended me. Yeah. Okay. What about the measuring the results? Because I think this is a little bit of a challenge nowadays for us, as you all mentioned that it dropped a little bit, right? The entrings on our websites. But then, how can we measure mentions, right, of AI? Is there any tools that you particularly like, or something that you would recommend?
Excel. Like, what's the bottom line? Why is the business there? What's the goal away from just SEO? What is the point? Because clicks may have brought in, say, 100 visitors and got you a 3% conversion rate, but maybe you only needed 20 visitors and you can still get a lot better conversion rate of those 3 conversions. It's, I think that was low-end traffic anyway, kind of like ranking from page 5 to 10 and reporting on that. What was the point in that? It's just a benchmark of something to improve. No one has ever gone, you know what, I went to page 6 and I liked you, and now I'm your customer. It didn't work that way. But again, it's going to be a bit relative over time, I think.
All right, so quality over quantity, and we are not dead yet. SEO is still well and alive. Guys, thank you so much for the panel, for your opinions, and yeah, hopefully see you next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.